why I'm changing my training split from 3 days a week all the way up to 6 days a week. Now let me explain why. Now you may be saying, 6 days a week, that might be overtraining. You're not going to make results. You're going to be suffering. You're not going to be able to recover. Now, I feel that. I get that. I had that belief system for a long time. I'd overdo it. With frequency though, if you train, so frequency is like 6 days a week or 3 days a week. How many days a week you go, that's your frequency. Intensity is how hard you train. So you can either train to failure, which is like exhausting every rep until you can't go anymore, or you could train, reps in reserve, which means, say you get to the 10th rep, but you could do 15. That means you've got 5 reps like in the tank or in reserve. And then with volume is just how many sets and reps you do. So you might do 3 exercises, so bench press, incline bench press, and flies for your chest. So that's 3 exercises for that one muscle group. But the volume could be like 1 exercise, 10 exercises, or usually it's around 3 exercises, but 3 or 4 sets per exercise. So if you do 3 exercises and 3 sets, you've got 9 sets for chest. And then that might be different for back, might be different for biceps. But when training when you change your training frequency, so you go more days a week, you need to sort of reduce volume and reduce intensity only slightly. You can still go intense on your top sets, but significantly taper off the intensity with your lower sets. Now this will all start to make sense in a second, but so I'm going from a 3-day where I went high intensity and a bit higher in the volume to higher frequency but lower in the volume and a tad lower, or probably higher in the volume over the week, but in that session lower volume. Now there are 10 reasons why I'm going from 3 days a week to 6 days a week. Now don't get me wrong, 3 days a week was great. I felt strong, I felt rested, I felt recovered. On paper, it's great. Great for beginners if you want to gain size and strength. However, not for me personally. Training 3 days a week wasn't working. It worked, yeah, because I could pay more attention to my work. I was less fatigued, all these sorts of things, more rest. I was getting stronger, but these are some major drawbacks that I'm going to mention right now. All right, let's get into it. Well, number one, this is in no particular order, but number one, you're going to get more progress, more gains, more muscle mass with training higher frequency. It just will happen because you're invoking protein synthesis more often, which just means you've got more chance to build muscle. I get more energy. So the second reason, I get more energy throughout the day because of my epinephrine increase, good dopamine increase, and endorphins. You know when they say runner's high or this high or that high, that's from the endorphin release. That rush of emotion, the rush of hormones, getting out of your body, letting it all out. That is from the good dopamine, so you're motivated. That is from the endorphins and the epinephrine, which just essentially means adrenaline. Your adrenaline's going to increase when you're lifting heavy weight. It's a mental challenge, getting through hard sets and reps. That's another reason why I'm training more frequently, is because I love that. I need that mental challenge in the gym. I need it. It makes me a better man, makes me feel more powerful and stronger. Getting through that hard rep when I felt tired, but I did it anyway. So that's another reason. Number 4, so I get tired at night time when I'm meant to be tired. I've found like recently, I wasn't really tired at night. I wanted to just still research my interests, think of better, topics, video ideas of the channel, all these different things. Because I wasn't tired at night. I'd stay up till like 12 or 1 just researching because I couldn't switch my brain off. I couldn't get tired enough to actually sleep. The only reason I got tired because my eyes would get so tired from like watching YouTube videos or researching or reading an article or reading a book that I just had to fall asleep. So that was the 4th reason. The 5th reason is I love training every day. It's a passion of mine. There's people out there that, and I guess I can relate to a degree because back in the day, I've always had a passion for fitness, but I couldn't really get into it as much. I wasn't really that passionate, but now I'm getting more results, obviously, and I have been for the last year or 2. I get more motivated, more interested, And because my dopamine levels, because I don't indulge in like the instant gratification, the gym is one of like those, it's not an easy dopamine, but for me, because I love it so much, I do get a good amount of dopamine from it, because the things I do aren't like fun to the average person. Like reading a book isn't necessarily fun. Cold showers aren't really fun, but for me, they are. And so going to gym is like funner than that. So it's like a easy dopamine in a sense, but it's not. It's hard to explain. It helps with my body dysmorphia. I think we can all relate. Everybody in the gym gets body dysmorphia. When you start, I saw this quote, I can't remember who it was from. It's like an Instagram thing ages ago. When you start training, like now you're small forever, because every time you look in the mirror, you're gonna point out your perceived inadequacies. You're gonna point out flaws in your physique that might even be imagined. They could be there, they could be minor flaws, but mainly, they're perceived, they're imagined. They're not actually that big of a deal, but your mind creates it to be a big of a deal. And that body dysmorphia, it messes with my head. So by training more frequently, say 5-6 days a week, that's 5 or 6 days a week, I'm pumped up in the gym and I look great, I look better. Obviously I look great all the time, but when you are pumped, you look better, like without a doubt. Anyone can agree. When when your muscles are full of blood and the veins are popping and, the good lighting and everything, the sweat, you look a lot better than if you're just relaxed in a t-shirt like I am now. Number 7, it helps me control and channel my negative emotions, like stress, anger, sadness, loneliness, all those sorts of things. When I feel that stress, if I just crank out some bench, crank out some deadlifts, I feel way better. An hour of gym, I can channel those toxic, negative emotions out of my system. You don't want to be keeping it in. It's really going to damage you from the inside out. You're going to bottle it up, bottle it up, bottle it up. From my personal experience, I can tell you how deadly it is. Bottling it up for so long, and then you just break. It's just a tiny straw that breaks the camel's back, and like one little thing could be the trigger from this bottled up emotion, and then it's a shit show. So you've got to make sure you stay on top of your mental health through channeling negative emotion in the gym or any other outlet. If you've got, CrossFit, running, yoga, all these different things, if they're good outlets for you, do them frequently. Mental health is so, so important. Number 8, sexual transmutation. Now, this is a key for a lot of young guys. A lot of young guys struggle with masturbation. I struggled for a long, long time. And when I don't get the urge to masturbate anymore, but when obviously as a dude, you get aroused. High testosterone men get aroused. So what are you gonna do? Instead of busting one out and fucking your bed sheets, you're gonna get in that gym. You're gonna lift heavy ass weights. You're gonna pick heavy shit up and put heavy shit back down. You're gonna get pumped up. You're gonna get the adrenaline going, the endorphins flowing, and then you're gonna get rid of your urge completely. You use that urge, because energy can't be destroyed or created. Energy just flows from one thing to another, or moves into different forms. So the energy from the desire to bust, use that desire, use that energy into the gym, put that energy into lifting weights, and you're going to progress way faster and have a great physique by the end of it. Number 9, higher testosterone. Training more, especially training legs, doing squats, significantly increases your testosterone. So does challenging yourself around other men. Me and my brother, very competitive, like a healthy competition. We challenge each other, who can lift more or who can do more of this or all these different things. Healthy competition, raises testosterone levels, and testosterone levels are pretty much the most important thing to building muscle. You can have the perfect diet, perfect training thing, but if your testosterone levels are so low, excuse me, you can't build muscle. Simple as that. So this really increases testosterone. It makes you feel more of a man, more masculine, more assertive, more dominant. And that's what we want to be as men. Dominant, assertive, masculine young men. And the 10th thing, I feel stronger, feel happier, more fulfilled, because I know when I put my head on that pillow, I'm tired, I'm exhausted from putting everything I've got physically into that gym, into that barbell, into that dumbbell, into that bar. You know what I'm saying? I feel way better. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope a lot of you guys can maybe relate and understand why I've gone from 3 days to 5 to 6 days. And yeah, I love you boys. Keep killing it.